Our next presenter hails from Australia, where indeed he did very well with Australian Theatre Awards. In 1974 he won 2. In 1994 he won 3. In 2005 he won 4. In 2007 he won 5. And in the last 10 years he hasn't won a single one. Now, people usually say, and it's not for lack of trying. In fact, it is for lack of trying, because he left Australia. He said, you know, I've had this nice success with Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Let's see how I can do in London. Let's see how I can do in America. And we just haven't let him go. Mr. Tony Sheldon.
Thank you, Peter. This is my favourite award night of the season. When I won the Theatre World Award for Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, my dream had always to be part of the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade, to have my caricature up at Sardi's, and to win a Theatre World Award. And the Theatre World Award trumped everything. I was just... It was also wonderful to be back on Broadway this season, and although Amelie is no longer lighting up the Walter Kerr Theatre, you can still catch our poster at a subway station.
He was very good at it.
Our next recipient can't be here tonight because Jeremy Seckham is in the West End playing Javert in that show. So he has an excuse, he's paying his rent. So I'm here on his behalf to accept the award. And talk about that saying, leap and the net shall appear. It applies very strongly to Jeremy. Jeremy is a fellow Aussie, which is why I've been elected to collect the award for him. He grew up in a small country town, population 2,500, and his father was a police sergeant, so he had nothing to do with show business. But Jeremy studied singing at school and in fact won a $500 award to continue his vocal tuition. And when he was 21 he appeared in an amateur production of Les Miserables, and the director said, do you like doing what you're doing? And Jeremy said, no, I work in a bank, I hate it. And the director said, well, you know, you could make a living at this. And like a shot, Jeremy left his hometown, moved to the Big Smoke, and as happens for most of us, for 18 months couldn't get arrested. And auditioned for everything that was coming up. And he was in fact working at a McDonald's in Sydney when he auditioned for the ensemble of Phantom of the Opera, a new touring company that had been put together. So he ended up touring Australia in Phantom, and then that took him to New Zealand, and then as a result of that he got into a UK tour of Phantom and worked his way to the West End, where he was playing Piangi and understudying the title role. Now you'd think this is all lovely, but as it happened, for the next 20 years Jeremy became so valuable as an understudy and a standby that all he could get was ensemble roles. And so he had a wonderful time working in, you know, The Woman in White and Lend Me a Tenor and Evita and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which was where I met Jeremy in the West End. But and he was in and out of production of the West End production of Phantom for 7 years because he was so valuable as that cover. But finally he bit the bullet 3 years ago, and he went to his agent and he said, I don't want to do this anymore. This has all been very comfortable, but I don't want to go for any more roles in the ensemble. I just want to play parts. I don't care where it is. I just want to play parts. And his agent said, well, what sort of parts? And he said, well, something like Sweeney Todd. And his agent said, funny you should say that. There's a little suburban theatre company called the Tooting Arts Club that has no fixed venue. It does site-specific productions of shows, and they're going to do Sweeney Todd in the Harrington Pie and Mash Shop, which has been an operating pie shop since 1908 in London, and they said it's wonderful because there's a barber shop right across the road. The audience, it only holds 32 people, and the audience is all going to meet in the pie shop, and then they'll be brought over, in the barber shop, then they'll be brought over to the pie shop, and it's only a 6-week run, and only 32 people a night are going to see it, but at least you can say you've played the role. So Jeremy went, all right, well, you know, you never know unless you give it a go, and he took the gig. And Stephen Sondheim came to the final performance at the end of the 6 weeks and said, "This is the production I have longed for. It is genuinely terrifying." And so he went to Cameron Mackintosh, and Cameron Mackintosh, sight unseen, picked up the production, built a space for it on Shaftesbury Avenue, recreated the pie shop in the West End, and took that cast, and they had a 3-month run in the West End where it was reviewed, and Jeremy got rave reviews, and as a result of that the show was brought to the Barrow Street Theatre in New York, and Jeremy was nominated for a Drama Desk Award and for a Drama League Award, and he is the recipient of this beautiful award. Yes. Jeremy has asked me to read, "I am absolutely overwhelmed by the New York theatre community embracing me and acknowledging my performance in Sweeney Todd. It was such a pleasure to be over in New York on this incredible project that had very humble beginnings. Thank you to the Theatre World Award Committee and to my Sweeney family, both on the shop floor and behind it. Massive thanks to Rachel Edwards, Bill Buckhurst and Ben Cox, and love to my wife Karen for putting up with me being in New York for 3 months as well. Also a special thank you to the man reading this out. It's very special to me that it's being accepted by my friend Tony. I'm very sorry that I can't be with you all to receive this award, but thank you all. Kind regards, Jeremy."